couple of things that we have been touching on the past few nights I want to get to. First of all, these horrible fires in the West, and now 3 firefighters, part of a specially trained unit that smoke jumps into danger ahead of everyone else to take a look at a wildfire, were killed when they rushed up a narrow, winding gravel road with steep hills on either side. And according to the Associated Press, it proved to be a death trap. They had a vehicle, it crashed, and before they could escape, flames rolled over them, killing 3 firefighters inside, injuring 4 others nearby, 1 critically. More on that in a second. I have to tell you that I hold the Republicans in Congress absolutely responsible for their deaths and for the fires. The Republicans in Congress. There was a piece at Addicting Info the other day before these deaths occurred, and they point out that equipment to put out fires isn't something that helps giant corporations. It doesn't help big pharma. It doesn't help energy companies. It doesn't interest massive campaign donors, and therefore the Republican Party has decided there's just no need for it in our budget. This is how neoliberalism works. And by the way, I'll get to that a little bit later in the program tonight. The Republicans have gutted so much funding from the federal budget, stuff that is absolutely needed, that the Canadians have had to help put out wildfires in California, sending in aircraft CL-415 water bombers to aid in the effort. So because of Republican budget cuts, we can thank Canada for putting out the California wildfires that have been put out to this point, but it's just still raging out of control. Addicting Info puts it this way: that may sound a bit harsh and overreaching, but it's a stark reality. On June 9th, Politico reported that the Republican Party was slashing funding to the EPA as well as fire funding. President Obama tried adding over $1 billion to the firefighting fund, but Republicans blocked his efforts as usual. Their excuse was that it was grouped in with an EPA funding bill, which, if Republicans had their way, would amount to $40 a month for a couple of clean water dispensers in the Capitol Rotunda. So they killed it. Now, California wildfires and wildfires in the West are nothing new, obviously. They happen yearly. And they've been known to cause massive damage. And scientists are predicting that climate change, global warming, will only make them stronger and more frequent in the future. Enter the Republicans. Perfect time for these filthy bastards to let California burn, and that's precisely what is happening. If it were not for the generosity of the Canadians, we may have been in even more serious trouble. They don't talk about this on corporate media news reports, do they? No, they don't. And the fires are now so out of control that, as you've seen, I'm sure on the news, teaching National Guardsmen in California how to be a firefighter and how to zip themselves into those fireproof bags in case of an emergency. National Guardsmen have been called in for the first time in about 10 years to help out. The fires now stretch from California to Oregon, millions of acres. Tens of thousands of homes are at risk. And it's absolutely amazing that this, like so many issues that are so critical to, God damn, so critical to the governance of this country, to the social connections that we're supposed to have. It's amazing that this kind of stuff can be affected by partisan politics. But it is every day, every single day. Republicans do not put the interests of the country first. Republicans put the interests of the corporatists who put the bastards in office first, second, third, fourth, somewhere down the line. You may find a tiny little bit of interest in what the American people want and desperately need. And as long as the Republicans control both houses of Congress, this is not going to change. It's only going to get worse. So we're watching airplanes with Canadian flags drop water on our problems because the Republican-led Congress can't get its head out of its ass long enough to see past the lobbyists that pay them and pat them on their bottoms and coddle them and see the real needs of this country. And it's not going to change as long as Republicans are in office, in control of the Congress the way they do. It's just not going to change. And that's why I said the other night, and I'm just getting everybody lots of advance notice. What is this? Almost the end of August. We have September, October, November, December. We have 4 months left this year and 12 months next year. 16 months from now, if Bernie Sanders has not been elected president, I will be folding my tent and slipping into the night permanently and forever. There's no point. You know, I feel like I've been talking about this crazy insanity on the level that I've been talking about it since December of 2000. That's 15 years since the Supreme Court gave the leadership of this country to a couple of people who turned out to be not just mass killers, but war criminals. And I'm hoping that Americans will wake up to the fact of what's going on and stop the Republicans from doing what they continue to do. But if not, I'm coming to the conclusion I can't talk about this stuff anymore. I really can't. So that's just, hell, I may be dead 16 months from now. I'm just telling you. Boom, okay? Okay. The firefighters. This happened yesterday in Washington State. It brought to 13 the number of firefighters killed across the West this year during one of the driest and most explosive wildfire seasons on record, and the hottest. Governor Jay Inslee said today the blazes have, quote, burned a big hole in our state's heart. He described the outbreak of fires as an unprecedented cataclysm. Listen to the language. Cataclysm, unprecedented. The governor said, quote, these are three big heroes protecting small towns. They were three big heroes. And he urged residents to, his words, thank a firefighter. Rather than thank a firefighter, why not vote Republicans out of office? Thanking a firefighter, which, while appropriate, given what these people have been asked to do, there are thousands upon thousands of firefighters in the West now struggling to bring this madness, this inferno under control. But rather than thank a firefighter, do that. That's very appropriate. But why not kick out of office the sons of bitches who caused this by their budget cuts? This goes all the way back to Bush. And the Republicans, since that time, refuse to fund the things that this country desperately needs for survival. They won't do it. So yes, thank a firefighter. And then throw these sons of bitches out of office. Or don't.